What kind of hidden headlights are so insane that people still remember them half a century later? To answer that, we need to go back to the 1950s through the 1980s, the golden age of hidden headlight madness. Back then, designers were obsessed with one thing: making the front end look perfectly smooth, perfectly clean, and hiding the headlights so completely that you'd swear the car didn't even have them. And that obsession gave us some of the wildest headlight mechanisms ever put on a car. First up, this Chevrolet Concept that literally hid its headlights inside its mouth. This thing didn't just open its lights in the normal sense. No, the entire nose of the car opened up like a mechanical jaw. When the lights were off, the front end was just one seamless wedge. No visible lamps, no covers, nothing. But the moment it needed light, the front nose split open like some kind of expanding shell, revealing the lamps hidden inside. The lights themselves didn't pop up at all. The whole front of the car moved instead. The point wasn't better visibility. The point was to turn the nose of the car into a protective case for the headlights. Completely absurd, completely brilliant. Second, the Ford Thunderbird. In the 1960s, the American personal luxury coupe war was getting serious, and Ford wanted the Thunderbird to look more expensive, more elegant, more complete. Designers at the time hated anything that interrupted the front end styling. If the car was parked with the lights off, they wanted the nose to look like one uninterrupted block of chrome, so Ford hid the headlights inside the grille itself. When the lights were off, the front end looked like a solid chrome face with no trace of headlights at all. Then the moment you switched them on, the outer grille panels flipped upward and revealed the lamps behind them. It wasn't really solving a lighting problem, it was solving a visual problem. How do you make the front of the car look cleaner, richer, and more luxurious when the lights aren't being used? Third, the Buick Riviera. GM built the Riviera to go head-to-head with the Thunderbird, and by 1965 it got one of the coolest hidden headlight systems ever made. This one used a clamshell-style design, with the doors opening up and down through a motorized mechanism tied into the grille. And this setup had something special. If the headlights were already on before the doors opened, it looked almost like the car was slowly opening its eyes, like eyelids lifting in slow motion. It gave the Riviera one of the most cinematic headlight motions in automotive history. Not aggressive, not dramatic, just weirdly elegant, like the car was blinking at you. Fourth, the Alfa Romeo Carabo. Now this is where hidden headlights stop being practical and start becoming science fiction. In the 1970s wedge car era, Bertone designed the Carabo as a pure concept for Alfa Romeo, and everything about it served one goal: make the body as low, sharp, and futuristic as possible. The front end was compressed into an almost blade-like point, which meant the headlights couldn't just be hidden, they had to practically disappear. That's what makes the Carabo so extreme. The focus wasn't how the headlights opened, the focus was how completely they vanished into the body. The lamps were absorbed into the surface so aggressively that the mechanism almost became secondary. This wasn't about making the lights convenient, it was about making them visually cease to exist. Fifth, the Buick LeSabre concept. This one came from the 1950s, when Buick was throwing conventional car design out the window and experimenting with what the future might look like. And the headlights on this thing, they're basically a design prank. Because when you first look at the LeSabre, you genuinely don't know where the headlights are. You can stare at the silver spikes, the intake openings, every weird detail on the nose, and still miss them. In its normal state, the front end is unbelievably smooth and sealed off. No visible lamps, no bezels, no obvious panel lines, nothing that tells your brain the headlights are here. And when the lights finally come on, they don't pop up like later sports cars, and they don't flip open like a simple cover either. Instead, internal mechanical parts inside the front fascia bring the lights out from within the body itself. In other words, the headlights weren't treated like separate components, they were treated as part of the body sculpture. And sixth, the BMW 8 Series E31. By the late 1980s, BMW wanted a flagship Grand Tourer, something sleek, low, and aerodynamic enough to compete at the top of the luxury GT world. But exposed headlights would have ruined that shark-nosed front end, so the solution was simple: pop-up headlights. Compared to some of the crazier American concepts, the E31's system was mechanically straightforward, but visually, it was perfect. With the lights off, the front end stayed smooth and sharp. Then the moment the lights came up, they rose cleanly out of the body and created this dramatic contrast against BMW's signature kidney grille. It wasn't the wildest system here, but it became one of the defining designs of the entire pop-up headlight era. And when you line all of these cars up together, you start to realize something. They came from different decades, different countries, different design philosophies, but they were all chasing the exact same obsession, making headlights disappear and turning the act of turning them on into a mechanical performance. So now the question is, have you ever seen a hidden headlight design even crazier than these?